We didn't come here on the TalkingTelly Podcast to talk about football. Episode 4, we came to talk about morbius. And
Have people joined? Have people joined? The people need to know. The people need to know.
I know Roman is joined, so that's enough.
You know what? That's good enough for me. Let's get us started.
Roman and Sony PlayStations. An account that was made 3 days ago.
We got the PlayStation. We got PlayStation in here now. You're telling me we ain't already started?
It is truly Morbid time. So yeah, we'll just give a brief rundown of our experience. So why don't you give us a rundown of our experience before Morbius and German Morbius.
Before Morbius. So, if yours, of course, if you didn't already know, we went to go see Morbius together. We saw the movie together just to get a hands-on review, like a personal review, first hand, no bias, no prejudice, no ulterior opinions. Just two guys watching Morbid on a chill, calm. What was it Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning at 10 a.m.
Yeah, Wednesday morning.
The only viewing of the day, sadly, of Morbius.
Yeah.
And
Liffey Valley, only viewing 10 a.m.
And
you know we had to see it
in the smallest theater imaginable, with like 25 seats capacity. With a 20-minute...
We kid you not, folks. This was probably 26 seats.
Probably, honestly, maybe even less. There were 6 per row, and there were like 4 rows. So yeah, 20. Yeah.
24 and 2 wheelchair accessible seats. 26 seats.
That is not only that, but I think the staff forgot Morbius existed, because for the first 20 minutes nothing was on, no ads, no nothing.
Look, before we get on to that though, I want to talk about how reliable the Dublin bus service was.
Oh, the Dublin bus. Well, we don't need to talk about the Dublin bus. It was good. It was surprising.
The Dublin bus service was quite good, so I thought I'd give a little commendation.
A little nod.
Before we get into a story later about the Dublin bus. Look, we're not talking telly, folks. We're talking trauma later on.
Yeah.
Talking trauma. I think everyone needs to know this one, so we'll wait until after more.
That'll be at the end. But a crisp 20-minute wait for the trailers, which of course are 20 minutes as well. So 40 minutes of prime anticipation to watch the classic that is Morbius.
Yeah. We had a woman come in, walk back out.
She was like, "What?"
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, the movie isn't playing," and then fucked off. Excuse my language.
Oh, no.
And then left, and then another one came in. I was like, "It's not playing." Walked back out, and then they started playing it. They started playing trailers with no sound.
No sound. The lights still on. Took them a while to get that theater going. But
but when it got going, folks, I'm telling you now, it was a sweep. It was a sweep.
You know a movie's good when it ends with people clapping, giving it an encore, wanting to watch it again, because man,
look, they stayed in their seats waiting for Morbius too. Like they were sitting patient.
They were pumped. No, it is like on a more serious note, you can tell when a movie is genuinely. How do you say this? You can tell your audience does not want to be in the theater any longer if they play the 2 post-credit scenes straight away after the movie ends. Straight away. Like I'm talking like no.
They weren't even post credits.
It was post movie scene. Like no credits. Movie. No nothing. Straight into the absolutely horrid post credit scene. So, I mean, no major spoilers. We'll talk about them later, but let's just say it involves Jared Leto driving a Tesla.
The Morbid. Someone famously quoted in the cinema, folks. The Morbid. That was the Morbid. Yep. Well, driving a Tesla.
Well, for anyone who doesn't know what Morbius is or what it's about I don't know what the age is. That's some 20-year-old.
Yeah, let's just say 24.
Yeah, well, probably like 30.
Well, we don't know.
they never said anything. They never said.
We saw that movie. We don't know, folks. We saw the movie.
And it's a genius scientist by the name of Dr. Michael Morbius, who has some sort of the illness which they never explain. We don't know what's wrong with him. He's just sick, and that's it. And he decides, well, his whole life he's been a scientist looking to cure sickness, and using bats, he manipulates the genes, morphs them together, him and his bats, combines them, and he becomes Morbius. That's what he becomes. He becomes his last name.
Look, folks, there's a lot of plot holes already. Okay, we're not even into the nitty gritty. He becomes his last name. He becomes a vampire, folks. Yeah. He becomes a vampire.
Oh man. I mean, the movie, when you think about it, it's got very little characters. Like, it's got Morbius, it's got the villain, Milo, played by Matt Smith, phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
It's got the caretaker, which I don't remember his name.
They literally have him on Google as a Morbius mentor.
Yeah, he has a name, but Google officially calls him the mentor of Morbius. So you know he's an important character. Then you have his love interest.
Mentor.
Don't remember her name. And you have the two police officers, Rodriguez and I don't know who else. I don't know who the other person is because they never like say the names. They say it once.
Oh no, Shroud.
Yeah, but they never said Shroud, did they? They just said like Shroud. Agent. We only know that because we looked it up. We only know that because we looked it up.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. We looked it up. We didn't know. Look, it's a dude from Fast and Furious. That's all you need to know.
Absolutely. And I do not say lightly when I mean the two detectives in this movie, arguably pretty important characters, theoretically, did nothing. Like, genuinely, you needed 0 scenes with them to accomplish what was accomplished in this movie. They added no comedic effect, no, like, plot value, no action value. The only thing you can say is they put Jared Leto in jail for like 5 minutes, and then he decided to parkour out of there like instantly. He decided he was sick of it and he jumps out into a pretty cool scene, might I say, where he's flying through the city, and that is pretty cool. We'll give our positive thoughts because you know it wasn't the worst movie, definitely not the worst movie.
Oh, look, the thing with the Morbius movie is it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
Look, we can't sugarcoat it. It was a bad movie.
Yeah.
I think I can hear myself in the back. I think you're echoing.
Hmm?
Just check there for a second, yeah.
If chat, if we're echoing, then please say. But if we're not, then that's fine.
If we're not, then we're all good. If we are, let us know.
I'm sorry.
if we are, deal with it.
But
no echo, back to news.
No echo.
No echo. Perfect. So look, it's a bad movie.
Relatively.
But it's an enjoyable bad movie. It's an enjoyable bad movie.
It's not like hilariously enjoyable, but it's
no. Like you're watching it, and I don't know if it's because it was a Morbius sweep in the cinema.
Literal sweep.
We got some adamant fans watching Morbius.
Packed. It was fully packed, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I nearly every seat
genuinely. Like I don't know about you, but it was a genuinely positive experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Like everything which could have went wrong, but it was still a great cinema experience.
Yeah, I think the action scenes. I mean, you have to talk about the CGI and the action scenes because it's a Sony movie. They made Venom, and Venom was good, but the action, in my opinion, in Venom was just super hard to follow. It's two like black and blobs hitting each other, and it's just a CGI fest, which is fine, except it just looks wrong. It doesn't look like two goopy creatures attacking each other. Well, in Morbius, yes, it's two vampire creatures attacking each other, but it just looks so sweet. They use this like misty, smoky effect, which basically, depending on what Morbius and Milo are wearing, it changes like the colors of the like movement and just the way the ambience almost. And I mean the fights weren't like super inventive, but they were just fun, and it was fun to watch Morbius and Milo fight, just go ham, nuts to butts, just smacking each other, biting each other, and it was just really entertaining, that part.
I have to say, it was at times enjoyable. Like, it actually had the bare bones to be a good film.
Definitely.
Like, there was CGI scenes in it, which I looked at, and if you've seen the movie, you know it. But there's a wide pan of New York City with that smoky effect, and I thought that was brilliant.
You're thinking, damn, like you can, like, this movie looks phenomenal. Like, it truly.
Like, you're watching it and you're thinking, holy shit, like this is good. And then you get some scenes and you're like, it looks like a Snapchat filter, folks. It looks awful. Like, you can see the budget is spent on some scenes. Like, there is a scene, he's jumping out of the prison, and you can see him jump from one building to another, and you can see the orange mist, and it's just the attention to detail of that scene.
The orange mist of his prisoner suit flowing in the air with like the white bits of it and the black of his hair. It's just really nice. By the way, have you seen Twilight?
No.
Okay. Well, Cherry was asking if it's better than the Twilight fight scenes, which we don't know, but we assume it is better because Morbius had actually good fight scenes. So yes, it's better.
Yeah, it actually had. Surprisingly, it did have decent fight scenes. It did. All things aside, it did. Go on.
But another part of the movie that I'd say I really enjoyed, which I really thought they should have continued more with, is his like self-diagnosis of what he is when he becomes Morbius. For lack of a better word, he since him being a doctor, a scientist, whatever, he's diagnosing himself, so he's wondering what he is, what he has, he's taking notes, he's testing himself physically, mentally, and it's actually really interesting to see him testing himself and what he is and struggling with like the morality, but it just falls flat everywhere else. We really need to talk about it, but the first half an hour of the movie is horrible. It's probably the worst. The first half an hour and the last 10 minutes are the worst part of this movie. And it is so rushed. Like, the movie is an hour and 50 minutes. It's a relatively short movie, kind of. For a superhero movie, it's short.
A superhero movie nowadays is short, yeah.
Like, you could feel that there should have been an extra 20 minutes to start the movie. Like, the first scene is Morbius going to a cave. Right, yeah. He goes to a cave, he sticks his hand out, and it literally cuts, and he gets bats to fly at him. And you cue a neon blue and pink Morbius, like, effect. Like, the title screen. Like, oh, that looks bad. The neon blue, like, you're thinking Morbius, dark black, scary. But the title is just, like, pink, blue. It's just so jarring. It's not right. Followed by them showing his childhood, and that was pretty hilarious. Where he's talking to Milo as young, and Milo suddenly, like, he just collapses at one point. And it was so funny.
Oh, he fixes it with a ballpoint pen or something like that. That was.
Yeah, he fixes like he fixes it like dialysis machine with a ballpoint pen, and his mentor is like, he's like, oh my god, you're a genius. Like, how did you do this?
We need to get you on a ship. Get you out of here.
Yeah.
It's like you'll get your own care, and it's like, if that was the case, would you not just given it to him sooner?
Not only is the backstory so short, it's so vague. And when I mean vague, I mean genuinely. They don't explain anything. They don't explain, like, they explain the bit for Morbius, which is that his artificial blood, which is super interesting, and then that's important later on down the movie. But they don't talk about why Milo why is he rich, like, later on in his life? Why is he loaded for no reason? Why is everyone here? What are they doing? It's just all so vague. Like, these characters, they supposedly have relationships with each other, but Jared Leto and Yeoman's chemistry I just think I didn't like it. I thought they lacked chemistry completely.
Yeah, it felt awkward. Some scenes in the movie felt awkward.
Her name was Martina. I don't even remember her being called that. Martina.
No, I think they did mention her name a couple times.
They probably did, but that's... Oh man, it was stiff. It was actually stiff when they're talking to each other. Because Jared Leto has that face when he's sometimes pasty white. He wasn't pasty white in this movie for a lot of it, but sometimes he's like pasty white, and he looks at you and he smiles, and he almost looks like a doll, and he's like hi, and she's obviously being a bit stiff, so she's unresponsive, and it's just so awkward. Like those awkward parts before he turns into Morbius, where he's talking to her scientifically, it's boring as fuck. And it's sad to see because, I don't know, it could have been so much better. Like the movie, it's not far from an enjoyable movie. It was never going to be a great movie. It's never going to be a blockbuster, a hit success, a critically acclaimed movie. But it could have been like solid. And I just think those 20 minutes at the start really, really could have benefited.
And, well, I have a couple plot holes which you didn't really mention.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think number one is him. Well, I'll say the villain. I'll say the villain of the movie being named Milo.
Yeah. Oh, that was weird.
The whole reason Jared Leto, Morbius's character, called Milo is as a way of ridiculing him. It's like, oh, you're just the new Milo. There was Milo, and then the new Milo, and then the new Milo. And now you're the new Milo. Basically saying, look, you're not going to be here very long. You're going to fucking die soon. And your man's like, oh, you named me. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He has a name. I think he said it's Lucian. And he goes, no, you're Milo. And for the rest of the movie, he's Milo. Because
even the mentor is like, Milo.
Like what?
That's plot hole number one. From the get-go, he's just like accepted his name.
I wouldn't even say that's a plot hole. That's
Thank you, creator, for naming me Milo. My best friend named me Milo.
I think that's not a plot hole. That's just a character, it's just a mindfuck. Like, why? Like, he has a name.
That's a massive plot hole.
Like, he has a massive
plot hole. Yeah. You're telling me this man has bags and bags of riches.
Somehow.
His name's like Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian.
And then
Morbius over here calls him Milo.
Imagine your family are millionaires, stinking rich.
Which they never said, by the way.
That's just how I'm explaining.
Like we assume they're filthy rich, but they never say what he is. We assume he is.
Yeah, well, that's just going to be my explanation for now. Let's just say your family's stinking rich, and you come up, you have cancer or something. You're sent off to this ward, so they can treat you, get better, all that. And this kid beside you is being an absolute little piece of shit. That's the best word I can say.
Yeah.
Little piece of shit, and says, your name's like, I don't know, loser. Your name's Joker.
Literally.
Are you going to just sit there and be like, yeah, my name's Joker? My name's Clown.
You got me there, boss.
Like,
checkmate.
Mr. Bartleby. Clown face Bartleby. Or you're actually going to be like, no, my name's Lucian. Whatever his name is in the movie. You're going to be like, get lost with you. You're dying as well, pal.
He couldn't really say get lost. He was stuck to a bed.
Your man's stuck to the bed as well. He's just stuck there longer.
I mean, I guess Morbius did save his life, but I just don't understand why he's called Milo. His name isn't Milo. He has a name.
He has a name. Look, if you saved my life, I wouldn't let you call me Milo. That's a way to ridicule me.
From now on, you're Milo, and the kid is 10 years old. He's not 2. He's 10. He's fully sentient, cognitive. He knows life. Why is he letting himself be called Milo?
You saved my life.
Even
to be indebted to you, you can call me Milo.
In Wikipedia, it's as follows: 10-year-old Michael Morbius welcomes his surrogate brother Lucian, who he renames Milo.
His surrogate brother. What does that mean?
Why did he just rename him? I don't understand.
At the starting, they're basically like, orphans, babies, orphans. You don't have families, you don't have nothing. He didn't automatically go, "You're my brother now." He said, "You're dying soon." That's what Michael Morbius said.
And on, oh my god, on Wikipedia, his name is Milo Morbius.
No way.
It's
no
Milo
way.
Morbius. Oh.
So did he get taken into that Morbid family? Was Milo also Morbid? Was he Morbid time?
Oh my god, that's why he became the vampire. He was Morbid as well.
He was actually Morbius the whole time. Milo was actually Morbius. I should have known.
It's ridiculous. Like, so this.
Look, if they actually had to explain that bit in the movie, look, it would have been no plot. Would have been like, oh yeah.
Also,
don't understand, but fair enough. Would do what you want to do. 10-year-old Milo, like.
Yeah, fucking like he's 10 years old and he like indoctrinates this other 10-year-old. That's what I think is crazy.
Peter Pan over here, like.
Alright, so what are some of the other plot holes that?
Okay, other plot holes. So when Michael Morbius is walking through his office building, bear in mind, Michael Morbius at this stage, when he's in the Horizon offices, is a small, frail, weak individual, super pale.
Yeah. Like he's like a veiny face, like
crippled over.
Yeah, yeah.
You're telling me he puts on 20 pounds of muscle and no one bats an eye?
Yeah.
You're telling me this man walks up straight, like he's practically walking up straight. He's only using the crutches as like a joke.
Yeah.
Man packs on 20 pounds of muscle under a hoodie and nobody notices.
I think that was another thing. Like no one, even the detective was like, "Oh, you look better," and he's like, "Yeah, I do yoga," and they accepted. They're like, "Oh, okay."
No, I do Pilates.
Yeah, it's
like.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What? You're suffering from like a life-threatening disease. You could die any second. You're telling me you're down Pilates? Like, what do you mean?
They look at him like, oh yeah, 100% right. Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah. Decrepit fella, like literally on the news the week before for not accepting the Nobel Prize. Bear in mind, there's another plot hole.
I thought you accepted
Why is
it,
the
no?
mentor? Why is the mentor giving him the Nobel Peace Prize? I don't understand. Why is the mentor like? Oh, he just went from local doctor, just helping out the boys to, award-winning doctor. Like what? Why is he giving him the Nobel Prize?
I thought he accepted. I don't remember him rejecting the Nobel Peace.
No, he rejected it.
Oh.
They were talking about that in the movie. Seems like I was paying attention to the movie. Jotting down every detail I know.
I was just sitting there like out of my face, just stunned. I'm like, man, this is so good. But
they're watching the CGI while I'm taking notes. Got the pen and paper out and ready.
But another thing, actually, I actually have to say, I like Matt Smith. He was like the actor and Milo, because yes, he was goofy, and he was very goofy, but. I mean, his motivation is pretty good. Wanting to be he sees Morbius healthy, and he wants to be healthy as well. Perfectly good motivation.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Like it was set up really well, and I like him being goofy, and he gets the powers, and there's like a scene where he's like in 1 minute in his like rich mansion, which where did he get that from? He's like dancing and trying on clothes.
The song was so goofy.
and his face is like half as you see on the screen if you look, it's half it's like Jared Leto, half man, half Morbius. Not like in half, but he's like transforming almost, and so he looks like, I don't know, like a zombie, and he's like dancing and boogieing down. It's so funny. I'll see if I can find a picture.
Well, you see, many people on the internet, especially Twitter, they're bashing that scene. They're bashing that scene. It's like, oh, this is the goofiest scene
I thought it was good.
ever in cinema. But it holds relevance.
Oh,
it holds relevance to the movie. Bear in mind, he was once, just for 20, 30 years of his life, just crippled.
Yeah.
Crippled, could barely move. Like, you see them in the, first few scenes in the movie, they're walking through New York City. They're walking with the crutches.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're pretending like life is normal, but you can actually see them wincing in pain.
Oh yeah,
walking.
no, like they have a horrible life.
You can see them barely moving through New York, and you're thinking, that must be awful.
Mm.
You're telling me Michael Morbius is gatekeeping a cure,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't take it?
I mean, no.
I would take it. I would.
Well,
take
you would
it.
take it, yeah, but would you give it to someone?
No, I mean, if I was in Milo's shoes.
Oh, okay, you mean as if you're Morbius. By the way, if you look at the screen,
No.
you have there's an image of Milo, half vampire, like dancing and smiling. There's an image.
Oh, you got the scene from the. You got the scene.
Oh, I got the image of him being like, wow.
Look, bear in mind, folks, you would do the exact same. You're now free to move as you will.
Not only
You'd probably
free to
be
move,
dancing.
like,
You'd probably be dancing in the crib as well.
like superhuman strength, speed, like.
Yeah, you have it all. You went from nothing to everything.
Probably living
I'd be
forever.
boogieing down too. I would be boogieing down, like I was Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3. On the streets. I wouldn't even be in the house. On the streets.
So yeah, Morbius was. What else? Oh yeah, so the rest of the movie is like gore. It gets more interesting, better. You know, so there's a pretty good twist. Obviously, we know Milo's gonna take it, but when they don't show him taking it, so when he takes it, it's kind of like, oh, that's pretty good, no? Like that was interesting.
Like, bear in mind, we don't know that he takes it.
Yeah. So the way they reveal it in the jail cell, like I'm not gonna go into full detail, but it was interesting. I liked it.
It was actually one of the best scenes in the movie.
It was a good reveal. It was a very good reveal.
It was something you wouldn't catch if they didn't give it to you.
And
like you wouldn't call it from the corner of your eye. And I thought that was really well executed. Yeah. Like there were scenes in the movie which were really well executed, and that's
what hurts.
The best and worst thing about it.
Yeah, that's really what hurts. But going forward, the movie's fine. Like, you know, they both have a couple of good scenes. You know, final fight, it goes really well. Right before the final fight, Milo captures Martina. And he gets it, and he's like, you know, say Morbius' name, scream! And she's like, Michael!
Oh, that was one of the cringiest. Like, people talk about the dancing scene. That was one of the cringiest.
Like he kidnaps her. And
that was one of the cringiest scenes.
He's like nearly kissing it, and he's like, "Hey, baby, you know, say his name."
Baby, say Michael. Say Michael.
And she's like, Michael,
Michael, save me. It's like, yes, say Michael.
Oh.
Listen.
So good.
Yeah. I can't help but think of like a Discord mod.
Yeah.
Like the girl over the phone is like, you know, call me daddy or something. You know, oh, you're daddy's little kitten. That's what it sounded like. And you're thinking, Jesus.
It was.
Like, it was bad.
And like he slashes it, and you're thinking, oh my god, she's dead. Like this is phenomenal. Like this is good, you know. And Morbius rushes to her, you know, he's like, oh, I gotta save, you know, my love interest. And he gets there, and she's basically dead. And he's crying, they're both crying, they shed a tear, she says something cringy again. And and she bites his lip, and like blood from his lip goes in her mouth, and she drinks it. And it's just like, for a sec I was like, oh, oh no. I really hope they do not turn her into Morbius.
Yeah,
they turned
her into.
But then he bites her in the neck, and basically what it seems, because they've eluded it throughout the movie, that he's trying to control himself, but he can't. And you know, can he control himself? And it seems like he gives in because he knows he's dead, and he kills her to get like his extra strength to beat Matt Smith, to beat Milo, and then he goes has a good fight. I think the fight earlier was better, but has a good fight with Milo. Ends up using like the bat, like that was pretty funny. He's getting destroyed.
He uses the bat.
He's getting destroyed by Milo, completely like dunked on. And right as he's about to lose, he like summons a swarm of bats, which I don't know why he can control. Why can't Milo control it?
That was my final plot hole. And
Well-
you didn't let me get to it. You know, he has a strong affinity to the bats, but yet Milo doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would he and he alone have an affinity to the bats? Would it not have made sense for Milo to also be the same? You know, they both took the same injection. It's not like Morbius is better.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't say Morbius now.
Yeah, they're
because
both Morbius.
They're both Morbius.
And he gets the bats and he turns it into like this like laser beam almost, where he's shooting him with bats, and bats are like flying, tearing chunks out of him, which it's pretty goddamn cool. But
Look, I thought it was pretty cringy saying it was like, oh, we'll use the power of friendship and bats.
I thought
Ice this fool. Ice this fool.
I thought it was pretty funny that he
It's like, how a bunch of bats
I thought it was
turns on another vampire, and it's like, oh yeah, he's down for the count. He's done.
Well, I thought it was funny is he grabs the bats into like a ball, and he almost like has, you know. He does similar, but he throws all the bats at him, and he injects them with like the anti-serum. And here is arguably probably my biggest problem, which is the main drive of the movie. Like towards like Milo, Milo, he wants to be free. He wants to, kill and do whatever he wants to do because he can. And Morbius, God, Michael Morbius. That was what he was called, Morbius. Michael Morbius and Milo Morbius. They're both MM.
Yeah, they're.
But Michael Morbius, he wants to put a stop to this. And he also wants to put a stop to himself because he sees himself as a problem. He doesn't know when he's going to go out of control. And he needs to create like an anti-serum. And originally in the movie, there were 3 serums to become a vampire. And once Milo takes the second one, they never showed the third again. So what I assumed that Michael's going to find it, and he's going to use it to make an anti-serum, and there'll only be one, so when he kills Milo with it, he can't save himself, and then he has to live with Morbius. The problem is, they never mention it again. They never mention the third serum. He makes an anti-serum out of nothing, out of thin air, basically. He goes to Milo, injects it into him, and then he just decides not to do it himself. Like he was like proper, like emotionally convinced that he needs to kill himself. He needs to be gone because he's a plague on this world and he will kill people. So why does he just decide, alright, Milo's down, I'm finished? Why does he not want to kill himself then? Because when has he made this jump to accepting himself? I don't understand.
You see, I thought it was after him, like, killing Martina, and he was like, just gonna go ape. Get rid of this Milo fella, and then we'll deal with the consequences after that. But no, she's still alive. There was no consequence.
That is a major bad thing. And it's the way they realize she's alive. It's not just she's alive. Like the fight scene ends, the bats exit the big hole in the ground, and the 2 detectives look at it and they're like, damn, bats. And then Michael Morbius is flying off, and they show his face. Then they show Martina's dead body, and her eyes open, and she's awake and breathing. And then they show Morbius again, and it's over. And oh my god, it's such a flat, out of nowhere ending. I expected at least, a cool down scene where he's doing something or whatever. It just ends. 5 minutes after defeating Milo, movie's over. Bye bye, go home. And it was not only was it a bad idea to bring her back, they did it in the worst possible way. Show a frame of her face and then gone. It's so...
Yeah,
it's just an insult, honestly, to the
It's
audience.
anticlimactic. It's
Very.
anticlimactic for the movie. Like, they would have done a lot better if they just killed her off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to bring in one of, Dracula's brides. Like, we don't care, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
we're here to see kill vampire v vampire. Morbius decking other Morbius. That's what we're here to see. We're not here to see love, action, romance, and save Michael. You know, we're here for vampire on vampire.
More
And
vibe.
it felt like a slap to the face.
Yeah.
It did. It felt like a slap to the face watching that scene. And just bring them back, and she had no like proper relevance. Like nothing kills. She's just a sidekick. The mentor had more relevance, and they just killed him off.
That was pretty good. No, I don't know how he survived that long.
He survived that long to get a call.
He got like
fair play.
He got like gutted, and he's just sitting there chilling for like an hour or two.
It's like, Morbius, thank you for picking up the phone. You know, I'm dying, but you know, Milo's bad.
Yeah. I think Cherry's leaving, so more bye to her. Unless, or maybe she's not leaving, but no, she just said more bye. But anyway, there was, honestly, there's so like I keep on saying this is the worst and this is the worst, but there were quite a lot of bad things. But the post-credit scenes, oh my god, were they bad? Like, I actually can't think of a word to describe it because. Here, I'll just give it a brief rundown.
I'm gonna let you talk about that. I'm gonna be suffering technical difficulties for 2 minutes.
So, alright, nice to see. Cherry's not leaving. Our whole viewer base isn't vanishing. But so the post credit scene, the first one is just spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, but. It shows the Doctor Strange rift open and a new character. You're thinking a new character is going to appear, you know, and it's jail. And in the jail cell, it's an empty jail cell. No one's there, and all of a sudden, Michael Keaton he like appears into this world through a glowing light in chains, and he's sitting there in jail, and he's like, "What?" And then the guards come by, and they're like, "What on earth is this guy doing here in our jail?" So then they just let him go, and then there's news reports of a guy who mysteriously appeared in jail, and they're like, "Oh, what the hell? Oh, this guy shouldn't be here. Get out of here!" And he just leaves, and I don't even know if he says a word. He just looks out, and he's like, okay, this is interesting." And that was pretty funny, but not the worst scene. But the worst one is the second one, where you have Michael Morbius driving in a Tesla, you know, in the middle of nowhere, in the boonies, chilling, putting his foot pedal to the metal, and he goes out in the middle of nowhere, and in comes the Vulture. Now, this Vulture has so many problems with the scene. Number one is that the Vulture is not voiced by Michael Keaton. He's in a suit, but the scene was filmed before they got Michael Keaton in for the other post-credit scene, so you can clearly tell it is someone else. Like, I thought maybe it could be Michael Keaton, but Owen knew that it's not him. And you can tell it is clearly not Michael Keaton. Number two, the suit, I mean, it looks phenomenal. But how did he get it? How did Vulture from a different universe come to the Sonyverse and get the suit? Like, does he exist in this universe as well? He didn't come with his suit, he came by himself. So where did the suit come from? How did he make it? And why does it look so much better than it looked originally in the Marvelverse when he had all this money to make it from? And oh my god, the final, like the nail in the coffin of just terribleness that was that scene is the fake Michael Keaton talking to Morbius. And I don't know how they got in contact. No one knows how. Renowned Dr. Michael Morbius, the alleged serial killer, because no one knows if he's good or not at the end of the movie, meets up with some guy from a different universe, and
I see. I've come back to a nice topic.
And not Michael Keaton Vulture looks at him and he's like, "I don't know what this is, but I bet it has something to do with Spider-Man." And Michael Morbius looks at him and he's like, I think, like, he just nods at him, and then the movie ends, and then it's over.
Like, folks, imagine some random dude you've never met before. You meet him out in the middle of the desert,
in the middle of
in the Morbid. Like, imagine driving like 4 hours to meet this dude. Like, this is just you as a normal person. If I drive 4 hours to meet this dude, and he tells you, I don't know, O'Shea McLaughlin's the problem. Now, I apologise if there's any O'Shea McLaughlins watching this. This is just a random name I completely randomly came up
It's his fault. I know it's him.
But, like, imagine you just get told O'Shea McLaughlin's the problem. Number one, who is O'Shea McLaughlin? Like, who is he? Who is O'Shea McLaughlin? Like, you don't know him. Just like Morbius didn't know Spider-Man, but he's just like, he's the problem. Let's team up. Join the cult. Join the Morbid cult. Come on.
And those credits were cringe. Like, you could tell they're setting up for Sinister Six, but who's going to be in it? Is it going to be Venom? Morbius? Like, Vulture? Like, why is Morbius in the Sinister Six? Like, he doesn't belong. He's not a Spider-Man villain. Like, why is he there?
It's like, yep, I trust this dude who just came out of a portal immediately.
Like, there's so many problems with that scene. Like, where did he get the suit from? How did he get the suit? Why? I just don't understand. Another thing I only realised right now. So, throughout the whole movie, they're hunting Michael Morbius because they think he's killing all these people. And they think, oh, maybe it's a copycat, you know, when they see a video of Matt Smith. But then he dies. Like, they never explain, is Michael Morbius safe? Like, is it someone else? You never go, oh, like that's what the problem is. There should have been like a 5-minute scene at the end of the movie where, you know, it's a news reporter going, oh, you know, breaking news, you know, Milo, fucking Milo, whoever this fella is, he turned out to be a vampire and he was behind all the killings and Morbius is safe. No, they didn't. For all we know, Michael Morbius is still like number one most wanted criminal in America. Like,
he's out here driving the Morpmobile, folks. He's out here driving the Morpmobile. Why? Like, why is he out here driving? He's the most wanted criminal in America. Like, they think he's after murdering loads of people, and he's roaming the streets,
absolutely destroying like the city as well, like making holes in it, like just destroying prisons. And they never, like, I assume, like, obviously it's assuming that, oh yeah, you assume that, you know, they see Milo's body and they say it's him. But, well, number one, they have no right to assume that. And number two, the movie shouldn't, like, rely on its viewer assuming what the ending is in a situation like this. This isn't American Psycho. There's no interpretation to this movie. It's A to B, you know? There's no other way to look at it. So why on earth did they not tell us what happens to Morbius? He just drives off. Like, oh.
Morbius drives off into the sunset, and we're left to believe, you know, yeah, that's nice.
And like, this isn't some like neo-western movie. Like, this isn't Clint Eastwood, you know, riding off into the sunset. It's got them Jared Leto flying off in a Tesla.
Jared Leto moves off in the Tesla, and we're led to believe, okay.
Well, like, oh,
that's it. Movie over. He's gone to meet some rando.
Very nice.
In the desert. And I was like, oh, yeah, nice one. Very cool. No, it's not very cool. I'll have you know, it's not. It's quite sad for the movie.
Oh no. So yeah. You have anything else to add about Morbius?
Look, I do think Morbius had potential, but like I said, it is a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
The critics, I do think they give it too much stick.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially, I can understand with the quality of most Marvel films why they'd give it stick, because they probably just expected better. Mm-hmm. And personally, I would have expected better as well. Like, I think it had the potential to be a really great story, but they fell in so many areas, which was, you know, was disappointing to see, but in some areas they did really well, so it's hard to judge.
So what would you give it out of 10?
I would personally give it, now this is a lenient 6 out of 10. I'd give it a 6.
I'd give it a 6 as well. I'm putting up on the stream as well. And you made me think 6 out of 10, you know, 60% for Morbius. And I just think I could watch that movie again. I could see myself sitting on the couch, kind of bored, scrolling through the TV, 8 p.m. and I turn and it's Morbius and I go, oh, Morbius, I'll watch this. Or it's halfway through, I'll watch a couple of scenes. And and it's a movie that I don't think I'm gonna forget for a long, long time. Like, it's not forgetful, I would not say. It's not one of those movies that's so bad you just don't remember it.
That's the thing with the Morbius movie. Like, I watched Eternals. I completely forgot about it. A week later, I was like, oh, well, I don't remember that scene. And then you realise, oh wait, I watched the movie last week.
I would say Eternals is better than Morbius.
But yeah, of course, I'd say Eternals is better than Morbius.
Mm.
Like, I watched Black Widow. I think it's probably the worst MCU movie they've released so far.
That is.
Would I say
God.
Black Widow is better than Morbius? Probably no.
Is Morbius like the second worst MCU movie?
I wouldn't consider Morbius MCU. Like, I wouldn't consider Venom. Well, actually, do we consider Venom MCU?
Alright, let's just say superhero movie. Is it the worst recent superhero movie? Can we think of a recent superhero movie? Like, I'm not talking Howard the Duck. I'm not talking Ben Affleck Daredevil. I'm not talking The Incredible Hulk that was The Incredible Hulk.
I was just about to say The Incredible Hulk.
I'm talking like in the last 10 years, in the prime of superhero movies. Has there been a worse superhero movie?
Oh.
So you obviously think Black Widow. Any other movies?
Look, I'm going to come out and say it. I'm probably going to get a lot of stick. The original Suicide Squad movie.
No.
The original Suicide Squad movie.
Boo.
And the Justice League movie. They were crud. They were crud.
Justice League was very bad. Well,
Justice League was awful. It was too ill-timed. It was
so short. Like, it was like I never watched the Snyder Cut, but I watched CinemaWins do do 2 videos about it, and those 2 videos looked infinitely better than what I watched in it.
I watched the Snyder Cut as soon as it came out. Paid the £12, watched it in the car. I have to say, it was amazing.
Huh?
Yeah, it was actually really good. And you could see the scenes from the original Justice League movie. Bear in mind, I watched the original Justice League movie. I'm a hardcore fan. I watched the original Justice League movie before watching the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. Like, I watched the Justice League movie the night before. Yeah. So it's still fresh in the head. Yeah. And you could see the scenes they incorporated from the Justice League movie, and they make so much more sense. Like, everything makes so much more sense. The pacing of the movie is so much better when it's in 4 hours compared to 1 hour 45, 2 hours, whatever it was. And you'd look at me and think, you're talking shy here, pacing. It's nearly double the length. Mm-hmm. But some scenes for the original Justice League movie are too fast paced. Like Superman comes back from the dead and instantly he's a good guy again. Yeah. Like, he has 2 minutes of fighting and then he's a good guy. In the Justice League movie, like Snyder Cut, he's a bad guy for probably an hour or so.
Yeah, wow, that's
like a good hour. You're genuinely thinking, in the Snyder Cut, is Superman going to be a good guy again? You're like, this could go a completely different route to the original movie because of the director change, all that. And you're thinking, wow, this could actually be interesting. And it makes sense. Like, they give him this mind blank, and you're just telling me, he suddenly remembers everything. He's a good guy again.
I whipped up a list, so I got some movies to see, and I'm gonna just run them by you and see, are they worse or are they better? So,
okay.
I haven't seen it, but Ryan Reynolds, the Green Lantern.
I've seen it. I've seen it. You know what? It's another Morbius. Is
it better or worse?
Better than Morbius?
Yeah. Is it better?
Yeah.
Is it Green Lantern's better than Morbius? Are you sure?
I watched that movie a lot when I was younger. A lot.
Alright, what about Batman vs Superman?
Batman vs Superman's better.
I'd say so as well. What about the Dark Phoenix? X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Look, folks, I hated that movie. I hated that movie. I actually despised that movie.
Oh.
I watched it on the laptop. It came out on Disney Plus. I didn't even put on the telly. It was look, we're talking laptops here, folks, and it was bad. It was bad. I had I sat through it, but I was in no way enjoying myself. I didn't have the nice Morbius sweep cinema.
Yeah.
I had laptop on the couch, hands covering my eyes, earphones in, with just white noise. It just felt like white noise. Ears almost bleeding. I was like, oh, this is awful. This is shit. Like, for an X-Men movie, it was so bad. X-Men movies are always good, if not great, if not excellent.
Yeah.
And you're telling me they pump out this? It was so bad.
That's rough.
And yet again, a movie which had potential, but it had no exciting scenes, no exciting characters. Like the characters, like the well-known characters, the big showstoppers, Magneto. I think they had Michael Fassbender as Magneto, probably the only standout character. He didn't even have that much of an influence in the movie.
So you're saying, so far, Dark Phoenix and Black Widow worse than Morbius?
Yep.
So
I'm saying it
I haven't
in the
seen,
books.
I need to see Dark Phoenix. I don't think I'll see both of those two movies in time. So I'll give my opinion some other day. But this movie I have seen, and I would say that 2015's Fantastic Four is so much worse than Morbius.
Yeah, it's so
That
bad.
movie is actually
so
a good.
bad.
I think that might be the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. That movie is terrible. I watched that in the cinemas, and I was sitting there going, "Why am I watching? This is terrible. This is so bad. It's a joke how bad that movie is."
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's like the meme. If you have seen it, it's like, oh yeah, this is just absolute, pile of shite. 2 hour edit, release it. I've seen the movie yet again. I saw it at home. I think it was on Fox. So it was a film 4 maybe. I think it was on Film 4, not Fox. Fox News pumping out Fantastic Four. Yeah. It was on Film 4. Fantastic Four Film 4 makes sense. And I was sitting there. I think I turned it off. I've seen the full movie, but I genuinely think the first time I watched it, I turned it off.
I wouldn't be able to watch. Like if Fantastic Four, it has before. If it comes up on Film 4, I don't turn it on. I just
you check to see is it the original Fantastic Four. If it's the original Fantastic Four, it stays on.
Man, if it's Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer or whatever that's called.
Oh, Rise of the Silver Surfer, that was good.
That was actually like somehow good.
They had Cloud Galactus.
Yeah,
they had Cloud Galactus, people. Cloud Galactus, and I still say it curb stomps the revamped, dark, edgy Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan.
I have a question: Fantastic Four 2 or Morbius? Oh, no.
Oh,
so
Fantastic Four 2. Fantastic Four 2. Oh, no, it's a tough one.
See, Fantastic Four 2.
Cloud
Galactus is so bad.
So bad. Cloud Galactus was so bad.
But Silver Surfer is actually really goddamn cool in it. He's so sleek. He's so good. His CGI is great. I don't know why the movie is called Rise of the Silver Surfer. Like, what a weird name. Like, as if Silver
Man's
Surfer...
already above everyone. Above everyone.
But like
he's
rise.
Already risen.
Like what? Like he dies at the end of the movie. Like what do you mean the rise?
The rise and fall of the Silver Surfer.
And I love when he takes away Johnny's like powers. But oh my god, that's so hard. It's actually so hard.
Oh, you see, I grew up watching the Fantastic Four
with Chris Evans
movie.
and Jessica
with Chris
Alba
Evans
and the guy from Gotham.
It's really tough to say. It's really tough to say because look, they're both great and awful movies in their own right.
Yeah.
They're like Cloud Galactus, Snapchat filter Morbius. They're on par with each
Doctor
other.
Doom does look cool in that movie because 2015 Doctor Doom is a terrible, but he is like a rock. Like his face is like a rock. Like genuinely, it's like a stone. But in Fantastic Four 2, he's actually Doctor Doom. He's got the cloak. He's got the mask. He's got everything.
Are we going to talk about how they defeated Doctor Doom in the first Fantastic Four? I don't think we should.
No, what happened? I don't remember.
They defeated him.
They
defeated him. Yeah, they threw water at him. They got, what was it? A fire hydrant.
Oh yeah,
fire hydrant.
That was so bad.
And they just knocked it, and then they sprayed Doctor Doom with the water, and that was it. That was wraps. The movie was done. Doctor Doom controls. What was it? They hadn't explained. Like they hadn't explained in the movie.
I have it. So here we go. So because Johnny Storm has all their powers in that movie, for some reason. Like that's the one, yeah. Where he, it is. Or is it in the other one? Which one's the one where Johnny takes the powers? Is that 1 or 2? I actually don't remember.
No, that's 2. That's 2.
Oh well, I'm reading it. So basically, they make like a circle of wind, shoot heat, like make it very hot at Doctor Doom. Then they bust a fire hydrant and throw cold water at him, and they cause him to undergo thermal shock and freeze him in place. Which is the most pseudoscience bullshit thing you'll ever see.
It's like, we're gonna be cool and quirky. Let's drop Doctor Doom, who, bear in mind, in the comics is probably one of the most powerful beings on the planet. The dude rules a country with an iron fist.
And they love him as well, they love him.
Like, this dude brings about prosperity. Bear in mind, he gains control of the Infinity Gauntlet, creates his own universe called Doom World, where everything's warped to his will. He becomes a god.
Oh my god!
And you're telling me this dude gets beaten by thermal shock?
So I'm putting up a picture on the stream right now. You need to check this out. This is what. Like everyone, look at the thing. Look at the thing in Fantastic Four 2015.
Oh, I already
look at the stream. No, genuinely, you don't remember looking this bad. Look at him. Oh my god, my eyes.
Let me just get the stream up real quick.
Oh my god, it's so bad. I don't think I did not. I thought it was just looked okay. I did not remember him looking this stupid. Look at him. He looks like some sort of like Nickelodeon villain. What is that?
Jesus, kicked me out and all. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, perfect. Kicked me out. I don't know why. I logged onto my phone from my iPad and I was like,
do you see what he looks like?
Let me see. Which? Bear in mind. Oh, I see. Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
Look how bad that looks. That is so bad.
He looks like Groot. He looks like an off-brand Groot. He looks like Grot. I am Grot.
Oh.
That is bad. That is bad.
Like, I'll move my up as well. The Fantastic Four, the original 2 movies, like, the Thing looked pretty good, and he had a good character arc. He had that thing where he didn't want to be the Thing. He didn't want to have powers.
Yeah, he had a wife.
Yeah.
Did he? Yeah,
he did. He had a wife,
and
she was like deaf or something, or blind. No, she was blind. Wasn't that the thing?
Yeah, and she loved them all the same. That was.
Well, yeah, she loved him because she couldn't see him.
Look, folks. The moral of the story is, even if you're ugly, you can still pull if they're blind. Even if you're hideously grotesque and hate yourself.
He was like depressed. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, a little diverge from Fantastic Four, but Fantastic Four 2015.
Worse than Morbius.
I personally, that's the only movie I can think of that's worse.
Worse than Morbius.
And then maybe put, and that's bad. Maybe just Justice League, and that.
Oh, Justice League was so bad.
But that pains
so
me.
bad.
But that means Morbius is like in the 98% of worst superhero movies. Oh. And we gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, but you know, superhero movies they've gotten a lot better over the years. They've gotten a lot better over
That means
the years.
every single superhero movie apart from those two is better than a 6 out of 10. Or is the same.
Yeah, it's the same. I'd say it's the same for a couple.
Oh man,
There's a couple
that
where
kind
you
of
see them,
hurts.
you're
That
like,
kind
oh.
of hurts. I'm looking at Morbius now in a different light. I'm looking sad at Morbius.
It's looking sad at everything. Why? Why is like Justice League, which is going to be like one of the biggest movies of that year,
Oh, so bad.
rated lower than 80 million budget Morbius?
Morbius turned a profit. Let's not forget. This is very important. Wonder Woman, 1984, came back during COVID, similar to, well, not similar to Morbius, and they made a net loss of 40 million with Gal Gadot, Chris Pratt, Pedro Pascal, and other phenomenal actors. With a budget of 200 million, they made 166, which is more than Morbius, but they made a 40 million loss.
That's their net loss. Their net loss.
Morbius costs between 70 and 80 million to produce, and it made 145 million roughly, which means they made approximately 70 million profit, which that is ridiculous to think that Morbius is bossing in comparison to like Wonder Woman. I think that's hilarious.
Bear in mind, the money they lost for Wonder Woman
Oh my god, that's so bad.
minus 40 million is half the Morbius budget. That's half the budget.
There might not be a third Wonder Woman now, genuinely, because of that
Yeah,
movie.
because nobody saw
Nobody. I can't think of a single person.
And then, no, because it came out during COVID, I think it was just ill-timed. They should have just pushed the forward.
Yeah.
Either pushed it forward or pushed it back or did something with it. You know, don't release it. Just don't. Like, they tried to release it in cinemas with, like, the 1/4 capacity. Of course they weren't going to get money.
December
Because people...
December 2020. Like, my god, that's terrible.
Why? Why were they so adamant on releasing it? I don't understand. Or if you're going to do that, make sure it doesn't go up on the internet, because most people just streamed it. Like, I don't blame them for streaming. Well, I would have done the same if I actually cared about
I doubt many people stream this movie.
No, I mean they streamed it illegally. I don't mean.
No, I genuinely I don't think many people stream this movie illegally.
I don't think many people watched the movie.
I don't think it's like Fast and Furious 4. No one's seen it. No one's gonna see it.
Really, no one has seen it. Because I haven't seen it.
No, and I do want to see it. I do want to see it because it's got Pedro Pascal in, and I love Pedro Pascal. He's such a good actor.
Oh, the Mandalorian himself. Yeah, he's seriously good.
I mean, for me, it's.
I think he's on Narcos too. I think.
Yeah, he's Narcos too.
He is.
Yeah, I want to watch Narcos as well. For me, he's obviously Prince Oberyn from Game of Thrones. But
Prince Obi.
Yeah.
Then he gets.
No.
Oh.
And then he has then lives happily ever after.
Has a ham sambo and leaves. Has a hammy.
So yeah, have you? Overall, Morbius. Honestly, I would recommend watching Morbius. You need once. I feel like you should watch Morbius once in your life. At least.
Experience it once. I feel like it's just a great experience in the cinema.
Oh no.
And it's not going to be as good watching it at home.
You need to watch it with a friend. Don't watch Morbius by yourself. Do not watch Morbius.
Watching Morbius by yourself would probably be the saddest experience.
That would be terrible.
You could go through. Like, I can't imagine watching Morbid. Because I probably would have turned it off. It's just funny to sit there and experience this movie with somebody there, and a Morbius sweep theater. Everyone having a laugh. You know, stupid Morbius. Let's watch the second one. Like, that's just funny.
So yeah, I am. Have you watched the third episode of Moon Knight?
Yes, I have. I have a bit to talk about that,
So
but not much, but a bit. A bit.
Give you a brief discussion, and then we'll start wrapping.
Well, I have to say, very good episode. You made it out to me like it wasn't. Well, it wasn't much going to be happening.
No, I didn't say that. I just meant like it wasn't as good.
No, I do perfectly agree with you in saying, you know, it wasn't as good as the first and second episode. Of course, I'm not going to say much. I highly recommend people start watching it immediately. Just get on it.
Episode 4 came out last Wednesday, and this Wednesday episode 5 is coming out. So we need to start catching up.
Yeah, we do. We do need to start catching up.
There's only 6 episodes.
We got to get the finale done on time.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to get the finale done on time. We could even do, folks. I'm not going to say much now. We could even do. Episode comes out on Wednesday. We talk about it that Wednesday night. That could be done.
This Wednesday?
No. The finale. Finale. For the finale, we watch it that Wednesday and we get the review out then and there. You know, episode comes out that night. Actually, you get a review.
Maybe the next night, just to give people, you know, a chance to watch it, just in case.
We give it to them that night. No, of course.
And then did give people time to watch it because, you know.
Don't want to go spoiling the show. Huh?
So yeah, what did you think episode 3?
Look, I thought episode 3, it was a necessary episode.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
It was a necessary episode. We got to see, I'm not going to say much, but we got to see
the other side.
The true grasp of Khonshu's power, number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Bear in mind, I didn't think he was going to be that, like, as powerful as he is.
No.
Dude is extremely powerful.
Oh, yeah, like mega. He's a god.
Yeah, he is a god, but I didn't think they were gonna let like the gods have so much power in the show. Like that has a lot of power.
Yeah, definitely.
And some of the stuff in it, I'm not gonna say anything, but you know, you're like Jesus, and it's not like it's just affecting him and Mark Spector. It's changing the world.
Yeah,
and the other gods get involved.
Yeah, there's a very, I'm obviously not going to say, but there's 2 very cool scenes where he is, as you said, changing the world.
No, the extremely cool scenes. I already know the scenes we're talking about. Extremely cool scenes. But then, you also have them going through Mark Spector's character. Also very important.
Yeah.
Going
you need to
through his illness, going through everything. His mindset as well is explored in the episode really well. His relationship with Khonshu, everything about it. Like, I'm not going to say much, but it's not a healthy relationship in the slightest. Like, the relationship is strained. And you can see that between the 2 characters. You can see that between Stephen and Mark as well. It's just very strained all around. It's not healthy whatsoever. And you know, I do want to see more of that in the future, and that's why I think it was necessary to start setting it up. You know, maybe understand why Khonshu is so adamant on keeping Mark when he's suffering with this. Could there be something more to him?
I also love
what we know.
The side plot. Obviously, I'm not gonna go much into it. The side plot of Year One. And what Khonshu and Year One have, like the true reason why Mark Spector is a servant of Khonshu.
Oh,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that reason.
I think that's just he has him.
Yeah, he has him by the balls.
He can't move, literally under his thumb. And I can completely understand why. Mark Spector. Like, once you watch the episode, you understand why he's doing it. You understand why he wants out. You understand why he does the things he does. And I think that's great in the show. I think it's great when you can actually look at a character. It's complex. I'm just going to say Moon Knight because different personalities. Character. As complex as Moon Knight. And you still think each side of him is morally correct. You know, everything he does, you know, it goes a lot into morality.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Like, whose philosophies are true. And you kind like... One is set out to be the bad guy, one is set out to be the good, like most shows.
Yeah, but then it flips.
Yeah, like, you honestly don't know who the bad guy or the good guy is sometimes during the show. Just the way the characters act, the way they're portrayed. Like, there's a scene, I'm just going to call it a court scene, where you look at one character and you think, you know, you sound like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're thinking, who is actually on trial here?
So, yeah, it's my final question to you is: do you think they're going to show a third personality?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well, and I'm very excited for that. I'd be extremely disappointed if they didn't, but I assume they are.
You see, we already had hints to it in the episode.
Yeah.
We already had discourse between two personalities already, and I'm not going to go into much. But, you know, there was confusion. There was little hints. I did pick up on them. Not going to say much, but I do believe they will do a third personality.
I 100%
now, I'm not familiar with the Moon Knight comics.
I am a bit familiar, so I do think I know what might happen, but you never know. I mean, they've differed a lot from the comics, in some ways.
That's the thing. They've differed a lot, but we don't know. Like, I know, of course, some of the main points about Moon Knight's character just after researching from liking the show so much. Like, I do know some things, but I don't know what way the show is going to spin it.
Yeah.
Which is really nice as well. It's refreshing. It's not like you're just giving it.
It's not just it's Moon Knight. It's not like it's gonna be this, and this. He does this, A, B, C. He goes here, there. Like, honestly, unless you are some sort of Moon Knight evangelist, you know exactly if he's your favorite hero. You have no idea where this is going. This is a wild roller coaster.
I think that's why so many people are enjoying the Moon Knight stuff at the moment, because I don't think it's like. I'm trying to think of a good example.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, it's like Pitbull. It's like Pitbull. Nobody ever says Pitbull is their favorite artist.
I was going to say like Guardians of the Galaxy. No, Guardians were fairly, like, people knew them, but they were still fairly niche before the movies. And the movies come out, and suddenly everyone is a Guardians fan. And I'm a Guardians fan because of the movies, but everyone loves Guardians. Everyone loves Guardians now.
Bear in mind, the Guardians comics got a massive boost. Yeah. They started including lesser characters, like they started including Nova to ride off the success of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
What's interesting is that the Guardians at the time when the movies came out, the Guardians didn't have that team. Their team was different. Like, they had some other people. I think they had a Quasar in it as well. Like, I only knew about the Guardians because of the Spider-Man show, but
I do think it's perfect example there.
It's a good time to, if you like superhero movies, and shows at this point. It's a great time to be alive.
It really is. I think we're living in a prime era. Like, we don't know when Phase 5, I think it is. Phase 5.
Phase 4 now.
I know it's Phase 4 now, but we don't know when Phase 5 is going to come out.
Yeah.
So I think we are living in the prime generation of superhero movies. Like, people before us lived in the zombie era, and then there was the space era. There was space era, and then there was a Western era, and I think we're just living in prime superhero era.
So, yeah, thank you everybody for joining the stream. It was very good. Hopefully, someone from YouTube is also watching as well. Make sure to follow on Twitch and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because you know that because the VODs do disappear after 2 weeks if you're not if you're out of state. So you know, make sure to catch us on YouTube if you haven't seen the full stream. But
yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
and just before we go, I just want to. I'm not talking telly, but talking tests. If you do have tests coming up, you know, remember, it's not everything. Like I know some people watching tonight will have tests coming up. We all do.
Oh, okay.
Remember, get the study in, number one. But remember to take breaks. Check back on the pod if you want.
That's
we might be taking breaks during the exams. But remember, you know, it's not the end of the world. Whatever happens, don't be stressing too much, because you're only just going to put yourself into a state. That's the best advice I can give.
Alright. Yeah,
that's it.
Make sure to watch Morbius as well, and that's about it. See you. Like Rowan's saying that if he fails his exams, his parents are going to conscript him into the Belarusian military. Well,
if they play Morbius in the Belarus, you know, you're going somewhere.
If they play Morbius as a this is what the Western army have prepared to fight Jared Leto.
Look, if you're on the battlefield, World War III is going on. You see Jared Leto there, you're gonna kill him? I'd say yes.
But yeah, once again, thank you everybody for joining the stream, and hope you catch you next. We don't really know. Next stream, we'll see. We might have another one this
season.
week. It's hard to say.
It is good.
It's all up in the air.
Get some time off.
It's all up in the air.
It really is.
But yeah, we'll catch you next stream whenever that is.
Thank you.
See you everybody.